We had some technical difficulties, but thank you for standing by. We are here this evening. Welcome, welcome. And we have some wonderful guests, some guests I've invited back because they were so wonderful the last time. I had to bring them back. So I have Miss Jada Brunson, who is clapping. Welcome, welcome. And then I have Miss Cecilia. She is also here. So, welcome, welcome, welcome you both to the show. Tonight, we have something very fun for you all, for the viewers, something fun to think about, to talk about, but it's also something that could be very challenging to think about. So, I hope we have fun, that we're challenged, and we think outside the box this evening. So, tonight's topic is I can't be friends with women, they talk too much. Wow. I cannot be friends with women. They talk too much. How many times have we heard that saying before? In our casual conversations, we've heard women say that at work and social settings. I can't be friends with women. They talk too much. So we are going to unpack that tonight. So you all in for a real treat. So I'm going to throw this out to the panelists. So panelists, what comes to mind when you hear that phrase? I don't trust women, they talk too much.
Hurt. Hurt.
Hurt. Hurt. Okay, can you expound on that? What's hurtful about it?
It's hurtful because for you to say that you can't really associate yourself, or you can't really hang out with other women. It's like, well, who was the woman who messed that up? Like, who did that to you? Like, are you like, what happened? Like, it just makes you like, that's intriguing. Like, really?
Yeah.
What really happened?
Oh boy. Jada, any thoughts on that? Oh, Jada, I can hear you. I can't hear you. I can see you.
So sorry, I put myself on mute.
Oh, there you go.
What comes to mind, like when I hear women say that, is a certain level of irritation or a lack of tolerance. And I can relate to that only because I myself don't hang out with a lot of women. Um, and it's for those reasons. Like I just get annoyed easily. And most women do too much. If I'm keeping it real, like women do too much.
So, may I ask, when you say women do too much, what does that mean? What does that mean when you say women do too much?
I know for a fact that I'm more like of a masculine woman. So even though I dress up, get my nails done, get my hair done, I have a lot of masculine mannerisms. So I'm less passionate, less nurturing, and I'm a lot more independent and aggressive. So it's hard for me to relate to women who come off with more femininity and union and camaraderie, only because, I just can't relate to that. I just can't relate to that sisterhood, that community, because I've chosen not to.
Uh huh.
They say,
Okay. Well, I appreciate you being vulnerable and being candid and sharing that. Jacilia, did you have anything you wanted to say?
When you say, when you describe yourself, so would that mean, would you say that you're alpha? You're like an alpha woman?
I feel
That's
like I am. I've been told I am a lot, by men, by women, by family, by friends. Like, I've always been told, oh, you're a man. You're a man. You act like a man. You do things like a man. You move like a man. Or you're more of an alpha female. I don't think you're like a girly girl. You're just you. So I've gotten that a lot. And I've accepted it based on my actions and how I treat women.
Hmm.
hmm.
That's interesting. So, let me throw this out there. Have you ever thought of not accepting that as your truth?
Um, Sometimes, every now and then, I meet a woman that I truly connect with. Like she gets me. We're able to talk, have a conversation without the negativity, without any gossip, without anything that I view as negative. And I feel like, oh, okay, like maybe I can bring her into my community. Maybe I can have a few more girlfriends in my circle. So yeah, sometimes that comes to mind, like, oh, I don't have to be alpha female. I don't have to be independent Jada against the world.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Cecilia, any thoughts?
I don't know. It just when you say alpha female, it just makes me think of because you said you like getting your nails done, you like doing your hair and stuff like that. And
Hmm.
I'm just like, there's still femininity in that. Like
Definitely.
there's still you still have that. So I wouldn't even accept for anybody to say anything to come at you any type of way with that because
Hmm.
you are still feminine. You still have that. It's just you need women who speak your language.
Right.
That's
Agreed.
what I'm getting is that you just
Right.
need a group of females who speak your language. Because to me, I'm like, you know, women can be, catty and they can gossip and they can say these things, but men can do it too. And they can be worse about it. So I'm just like, yeah.
Yeah, I feel you on that. It's a little bit of a, it sounds contradicting, but I feel like it's all in the way that you look at it. Um, I know that when people use it in that context, for me, like when they call me a man or when they call me an alpha female or when they call me aggressive, they're coming from a place of, okay, Jada's very closed off. She doesn't care about much except for her space or her business or her work. She's not the type to be sensitive or vulnerable. She's just all about business and moving forward, that type of thing. And I can't say I necessarily agree with those people. Like I don't feel like I'm a man. Like I don't know why people continuously call me that, but from their perspective, I could see why they would think, I'm a little bit in my own bubble. Yeah.
Okay. And I appreciate you saying that. And I think what's important, I think as women, and even before we even dive deeper into why women feel the way that they feel, or maybe they've had experiences that are negative and they feel like, you know what, I can't get along with women, or maybe there are some viewers out there who had the opposite experience. I've never felt that way. I embrace my female friendships. It's not an issue. But I think what's important, I would think, is to keep an open mind because what's femininity, what's masculinity, those are subjective terms. And I believe that men and women embody both things. There are quote unquote feminine characteristics and masculine characteristics. And I think both men and women embody both of them, and however you want to define it. And we're on a continuum and we're not all one or the other, in terms of our characteristics, our character. I'm not talking about gender. That's a different conversation. I'm not talking about gender. I'm talking about how we choose to show our character, how we act, our personality. I think there are a lot of, because I think there are things about myself that may be considered, quote unquote, masculine. I can be aggressive when I need to be, but I can also be a very nurturing and gentle as a lamb. And I think that's what's so dynamic about women. We can be a warrior. We can be gentle, nurturing mothers and wives, and all of that in between. I don't really think it's one or the other. And I really think, in my opinion, why we struggle so much because we're so dynamic. We're so dynamic. Any thoughts? Jump in, panelists. Any thoughts from our viewers? Please don't hesitate to ask. Type your questions in. We want to hear from you. Questions and comments. Panelists, any thoughts on what I said?
I agree with you, definitely. We are dynamic. We're very complex. And that is why sometimes females or women, we clash or we butt heads because, there's so many different things going on in our minds, our mannerisms, how we were brought up, what we do, our actions, everything. So I feel like you were 100% correct. We all have the ability to switch up, and it's not just one or the other. Like, okay, you're just masculine. That's all. Like, no, because I've proven that wrong.
Yes. And I certainly agree with Cecilia was saying. You're 100% all woman. And I wouldn't think anything else. I wouldn't even characterize you as alpha male or anything of the sort. You are 100% woman, just like everyone else here on this panel. And so, but I appreciate your candor and you saying that because it really gives us something to think about in perspective. Because when you're thinking about relationships between women and friendships, you really have to look within too, and think about yourself and your personality and your struggles and your strengths and your weaknesses. So I don't think you can have a conversation about any kind of relationships, whether it be friendships between women or men or romantic relationships, without also having a look or a chat about yourself, knowing thyself, knowing your who you are, and in everything that it encompasses. Cecilia, did you have something? You look like you had something right on the tip of your lips.
I don't really have anything to say. It's just I agree with both of you. But what did pop up on my mind was thinking about, strong women. I always thought that Mrs. Huxtable from the Cosby Show portrayed being a strong woman, but you know, but also being able to show her feminine side. Like I see that with her like both ways. I think that she played that well. So yeah, that's what came to my mind. I don't know why. I just thought like share. I was like, what do you guys think? Do you feel
You know,
that too, or is it like
I've never seen like an episode of the Cosby Show. Is that where she's from?
yes?
Okay.
Hmm. She's a lawyer and she's a mom. I don't know if she did anything else, but she was able to like show that I'm a boss kind of mentality. But you could also see when she kind of like switches into, oh, I'm here for my husband, but he better not play with me. like you get you get both of that. And I'm just like, oh, okay, I feel you. You're just all right. You're the boss, but you're not the boss, but you're the boss. Because everybody knows. The women's
yeah,
like the neck, and it's like they kind of like control. They not control, but you know what I mean. Like the husband's thinking something, you need the neck to kind of like direct. If that makes sense. I need somebody to help me in here.
oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And I really appreciate what you were saying, but I think we want to be able to unpack that. This is what is that what Claire Huxtable was bringing to the table, where she was that good mixture of what you would say female or male characteristics. What is it about that may make it difficult? Or about that, what Claire Huxtable is embodying will make it challenging for women to get along.
What would be challenging for a woman like Claire Huxtable to get along with other women?
Let me rephrase that. When you use Claire Huxtable, her character, as an example of a strong woman, nurturing, dynamic, educated, intelligent, can be the boss when she need to be. Sometimes she had to be the lion and sometimes she had to be the lamb. What about those dynamics? The lamb and the lion makes it difficult for women to get along.
I feel like if anybody had a problem with a woman like Claire Huxtable, it has to be insecure. I feel like it's insecurity because it's just like when I see Claire Huxtable, it's kind of like she's doing what she has to do. Like she's doing her job, she's doing it well. She's coming home, she's tending to the kids, and she helps her husband out. Sometimes he'll get himself into a pickle, and she kind of steps in and gives her 2 cents about it. I don't. I don't know. Although I don't remember seeing her with many friends. It was kind of like her just a mom and a wife. But I can imagine her in the workplace or her like dealing with women on an everyday thing. If anybody has a problem with a woman who's doing what she's supposed to do and who enjoys her family, enjoys her husband and stuff like that, then I feel like you would have to kind of look on the inside, like why would I have a problem with a woman who is living her life, you know? I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
I agree.
Oh, what are you gonna say? I'm sorry, Jada.
I said I agree.
You said you. I agree.
Even though I'm not familiar with this Claire Huxtable, I agree. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And I think I want to turn to our viewers. One of our viewers typed in insecurities. And I think that is a powerful word that can explain why women may have this friction and in trying to get along. When you think about insecurities, what comes to mind? You need a
Beauty.
few minutes to think. You need a
Beauty,
few minutes to think.
brains, beauty and brains. It really just goes. There goes my heating system. I hope that y'all don't hear it. Is it loud? I can turn it off.
No, no worries. We can hear you just fine.
Okay, good. I'm sorry. But insecurity. When I think about it, mm, like you're jealous of somebody. Like you can be jealous off of anything. Like, oh, well, her hair is done. I need to get my hair done. Shoot, I'm trying to look just like her. Not like her, but like I need to like step my game up if I wanna feel pretty. Insecurity. That's what I'm thinking about. Like you jealous or like at what you see that she has, you want. You got to work that out.
Mhm,
Somebody like that has to work that out within themselves. Why do you? If her hair is done, does it really matter if your hair is done?
mhm,
Does it really matter if her nails are done? Does your nails have to be done?
mhm.
Are you not beautiful with? I just want to know. You just let me know if can you. Hmm.
Yeah, and you know what? I think those are good questions to ask each other. Our viewers are throwing out some nuggets as the reasons why women might have this friction in getting along. Low self esteem, jealousy has been thrown out there. Thank you, viewers, for contributing to our discussion. And I really think what the viewers are hitting on, as well as the two of you, that it's our brokenness within us. I think that comes out and manifests in our outward relationships, and we have shattered relationships, or maybe is it just a trust issue? So how much of this is just me and my issues as a woman versus maybe someone else and their issues? I don't know. Can you weigh on that, viewers, panelists?
Hmm.
Any thoughts?
I mean, when I think of insecurities and low self-esteem and all that Jasila just said, I think of women who they're afraid of seeing you shine because for some reason in their mind they think that's going to take away from their shine
Mm-hmm.
or from their light. Um, that's what I get when I think of insecurities, jealousy, competition, um, and I do feel like it could be a strain on a lot of friendships or just between females in general because it is a trust thing too because you don't know the other women's intentions. Like are they coming to you to actually, build a connection, fellowship with you, be a girlfriend, be a sister to you? Are they coming to you for that? Or are they coming into your circle to constantly look at you, look down on you, compete with you in secret. Um, yeah, I think
I
that
like that.
other women in their intentions. So it's a trust thing for sure. For me personally, it's a trust thing because I'm like, why is she here? Why is she talking? Like, what do you want? Like, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I understand. So I appreciate you sharing that, and I think, what about when you think about female relationships? Do you think gossip or portraying a confidence or sharing a secret told between friends? How much of that is the issue between women, or is it just all these other things?
that's a very big issue, a very big issue because once you're in my circle and you come to me speaking on someone else's life or their downfalls or their challenges or gossiping about someone else, then I'm like, okay, well, you got to be gossiping about me and my life too. Like, I, I hope you didn't think that just because you're in my circle that I would be comfortable hearing you speak down on another woman. So
Mhm.
that's even more of a lack of trust there because can I trust you with my information? Can I trust myself to be vulnerable with you, a gossiper?
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. Cecilia, any thoughts or feedback on that?
I agree with Jada about gossiping. Um, it's something else, man. It starts. I feel like it starts with something small, something basic. You might get teed off about one
Mhm.
little thing, and that one little thing ends up building into many little things. And then one day you find the right person, and it's like fire. It's just spewing out your mouth, which is not good. It's not good. If you have a problem with somebody, then instead of talking badly about that person, then it's best to just simply, when you first notice something, maybe try to approach the person and be like, not coming at them in any type of way, but like maybe trying to suggest some things, or maybe just even getting to know that person. If you get to know the person, you'll understand why they react the way that they do. I know there's certain
Mhm.
instances when I might be so mad at somebody, and like it's like the littlest of things just build up inside of me, and it's just like, I'll talk and kind of like vent or something like
Mhm.
that. I think it all starts with venting sometimes, and then it just goes off into a whole something else, which is not good. But um you really have to put yourself in the other person's shoes when it comes to gossiping. um was it is it Do I really, why am I thinking like this? Like, what if she had a bad day? I'm saying that I feel like gossiping isn't just, it's not, I feel like everybody has done it. I feel like there's been some time in somebody's life when you felt some type of way about somebody, and it's just like you find somebody else where it's just like, oh, you feel that way too, which is not good. It's not good. I do not condone, nor do I participate anymore, because at the end of the day, it is it is a waste of time. But then at the same
Mhm.
time, as I'm talking to you, I'm realizing things. But at the same time, you say you don't participate, but if you have social media, it is so hard not to participate in gossip these days. You have news feeds, not news feeds. You have buzz, not the buzz. What is it called? Gossip. I don't even know if gossip is still around. You
But
know what
Uh,
I mean? Like,
yeah,
at first
uh-huh.
it was in the 90s, it was Ebony magazine. Now we got gossip, and we got the real. We got all of these things. Gossip is literally everywhere. And if you don't want any parts of it, you're just gonna have to shut it all off. You're just gonna turn off the TV, delete the social media apps if you don't want to be a part of it, or just consume your timeline with things that are positive, like with people who are like-minded. But it's really hard these days as a young person to stay away from these things. That is literally a conversation starter. I literally had a conversation with a friend, and they're like, "Did you hear about Kanye? Did you hear about Kanye Kim? Girl, I don't even know what to say about." It's a conversation starter now. So it's just like gossip, man. Like it's turned. It literally has turned. Like, I mean, well, maybe it's not. It's turned. It's just intensified because of social media. But yeah, I agree with Jada. Oh Lord Jesus, help us, Lord.
That's right. That's right. So I'm going to turn to our viewers. Our viewers are chatting some good comments. They've been coming up on the screen, but our viewers have noted that a gossiper will only find an ear when the other person has some issues too. Wow.
Hmm.
Gossip is just a little word. It only becomes big if you allow it. Wow. Can you all weigh in on that?
Hmm.
Agree.
Agreed.
What is it that you agree about? What do you agree about?
I feel like in order for something to have power, like you have to give it some sort of attention. Like that's the fuel for the gossip, giving it attention.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Any thoughts, Jacilia?
Yeah, I agree. Like, you literally have to just, if you don't want no parts, if you don't want any part of gossip, it's best for you to assess your circle and your timelines and what you put in. You know what I mean? Like what you listen to, what you watch, all of that. You If you don't want any parts of it, then you're gonna have to kind of do a lifestyle change, or you're gonna have to do some cleaning up.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I think what you're bringing up, Cecilia and Jada and our viewers, is that the gossip destroys. Gossip destroys. It betrays the confidence. It destroys trust, and trust is the bond that we need to build any relationship. Any relationship. So, what does gossip? I before I ask this question, I wanted to make sure I lifted up what a viewer put in. It said a gossip is sin. Gossip is sin. And looking at gossip from a spiritual perspective, and then that kind of leads me into my next question. Gossip in the church. What does that look like? Have you experienced it? How, let me just throw this out there as just food for thought. How prayer groups turn into gossip groups. Hey, girl, please, I'm going through this what's going on. Can you please pray for me with this, and da 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 da, and you go down the whole thing, and then it's like, so just tossing that out there, gossip in the church, and looking at spirituality and gossip as a sin. What are your thoughts about that? Does it occur in the church, or are we just making this up?
No, it
Definitely
happens.
occurs in the church.
Yeah,
I
how do you
actually,
handle it?
I haven't experienced it, so definitely occurs. Mainly with me, people see me and it goes around that, oh, I think Jada has an attitude. She doesn't talk a lot, or she just leaves directly after church. Where do you think she's going? And it just starts off as a whole conversation. It's just like, I just want to go home. That's all. There's nothing special to see here. And it all stems from just that. Like gossip can start off with just a seed, and that's all it takes. One person, one source, and then it goes around, and then everyone's forming opinions. And so, yes, definitely happens in church.
Yes. Any thoughts, Jacilia?
Mm, yes, it it definitely happens in church because
Mm-hmm.
it's like I know that I don't know. It's kind of like you really have to like look at your life for real and just wonder. You know what I mean? Like what I found is that at first it's like you didn't want to make friends in church. It's like you go to church, I'm just gonna go to church, I'm gonna do what I have to do, I'm gonna praise God, I'm not gonna pay nobody no mind.
Amen.
Because it's just like, if I try, I don't know how this is gonna go. Because I've had instances where I try to make friends in church, and it's just like you think that somebody is a type of way, or they have the same fire as you, but it's not the same. So it made me kind of a little bit standoffish and kind of the stay with who I know. But it's like, then you have to realize the church is a hospital, and you don't know what this person is going through. So if somebody is coming at you some type of way, or they have, their thoughts, you got to ask God to forgive them. And then you got to ask God, Lord, I didn't like what they said, but you're going to have to help me help them through this. It's like, it's a lot. Like, this is how gossip starts church hurt. That just goes into the whole church hurt thing. Like, I remember what they said about my mama. I remember what they did to my grandmother, all of these things. But you have to realize that the church is a hospital. On top of, the church is like a school. You go in there, you're going to learn. I'm going to learn more about Jesus. You know what I mean? It's like so many different aspects I take with it. So it's like, I've experienced gossiping, but I'm not going to let that interfere with my purpose, or I'm not going to let this interfere with the reason why I came here. I didn't come for you. I didn't come for you. I came here for Jesus. But you are here, and the Lord is helping me. And as he's helping me, I know he's helping you. So I have mercy. I have mercy. I'm not going to, if somebody says something off to me, I'm not going to be like, start a fight, because what's the point? We're all healing, we're all broken, and we come here for a purpose, for one goal. But this goes into also the whole community aspect. Like, I understand, I don't know, I feel like I'm talking too much, but because it's just like one thing goes to another.
Take your time, Pastor.
Oh, no. No. It's just a lot, but I agree.
And so I wanted to just lift up some of the things our viewers. Thank you, viewers, for chatting and joining our conversation. And what I'm getting is, turn that gossip into prayer. That the problem is we don't want to get hurt. Church is a hospital, and people are at various levels of healing. I think that's what you were speaking to, Jacilia, that people are on different levels, and that people come to church expecting perfection. And they don't expect to see broken people who are in need of a savior. They come to expect perfection, because it's this idea that because you're in church, you're perfect. You have it all together. And that can't be, that's the biggest lie, one of the biggest lies ever told. We're all broken and in need of a savior. But once you commit yourself to a savior, our Lord Jesus Christ, and allow that transformation to take place, then the healing can begin and the transformation can begin. But everyone's on a different level with that. Our viewers also was lifting up that you have to discern who you tell what, regardless if it's a person in or outside the church, which is true. Which is true. Any thoughts to that? What we've shared so far, panelists?
Yeah.
Amen. I agree, because I'm one who doesn't share much at all.
It's just a,
Oh my goodness. Yes, yes. And I think we, as a coping mechanism, we shut down. Um, when we shut down, we either can go to either extremes. We just jump in, feet forward, deep in, don't matter, don't care, saying whatever to whomever, no discretion, no trust. And the other end of the pendulum is that we don't trust anybody. We don't let anybody in. We don't share, we don't talk, we don't, we get our things, we're in, we're out. Like a coach operation. Get
I'm
in, get out.
sorry.
You know.
I'm
So
laughing because it sounds like me. I'm just-
yeah, and you know what? And I mean, is that's what we should be going for? Get in, get out, or all out, or the other extreme, all in it together. Whether all different levels of healing, whether I'm doing right or wrong, I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just learning by experience, trial and error. See what happens.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? What does healthy female friendships really supposed to look like?
I'm gonna leave this to Jasila.
Oh, wow.
She's like, wow, you just
I was
tossed
asking
this in
Jasila.
my lap. You
Wow.
tossed this in
You
my
gonna
lap.
pass me the ball. I didn't even comment. I didn't see it coming. But healthy female relationships. A healthy female relationship is understanding. It's understanding. I love using this word community because it just fits in. It just fits in. It's understanding. It's community. It's loyalty. It's respect. It's love. It's it's encouraging. It's motivational. If you ask me, agape, definitely agape love, but another form of black love, you know what I mean? That's not black love, sorry, because anybody can have it. Any female can have it. It's just love in general, agape love. That's what I'm saying. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Everybody can experience this. Women in general. That's all you need. You just need somebody who can speak your language around you. You have similar views. There's tough love. There's tough love in it too, because there's sometimes, I'm doing my stuff, and you have that friend that's just like, what are you doing? You need reassurance. You need somebody who's gonna hold you accountable. That's what a healthy woman type of relationship is. It's full of love, encouragement, motivation, um, respect. Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Jacilia, for sharing that.
Wait, I
And
have
I'm
one
sorry.
more
No,
thing.
no, no. I'm cutting you off. I'm sorry. What are you gonna say?
One more thing, because this just popped up in my mind. But it's like the same way you kind of go about the whole you want that perfect mate. I feel like women should have that same type of energy when it comes to finding your when it comes to coming around people and friendships. The same way you go to God about a man, the same way you go to God about your future, you should definitely concern God about the people who is around you. You know what I mean? You should definitely talk about to God, oh, my weaknesses. It's like most of the time, us women, we talk about the whole man. Oh, I need a man who's gonna uplift me. I need a man who's gonna do this and that and the third and all these things. But you can find a lot of these things. I'm not saying this is not dating or nothing. I'm just saying, um, women who women can do the same thing. If you have a good best friend, they can still encourage you. You know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
like not everything you can find that in a man. Sometimes you really just need a really good friend, a really good girlfriend, a really good. Let's go get our nails done together and figure this situation out. Let's go get some coffee and let's talk about what I heard on Sunday about this here word, about the word. You know what I mean? You have to, the same energy you're putting into God. I would like a husband who blah 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 blah. You need to put the same energy into God. I need a friend that's gonna blah 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 blah. That's all I got.
Thank you. That was a lot. That was a lot. That's right. I think that's
That was
worthy of
great.
applause. Thank you.
That was good. Good stuff.
Were you gonna add anything, Jada?
I originally left the question up to Jasila because she's so good with being a good friend, so she's able to attract good friends. Me, I lack in the trust department, so I'm closed off, which in turn turns into isolation and no female friends. Like I do yearn for what Jasila just said, for somebody to go out shopping with me or get my nails done or just someone to just talk to. But when I think about it, the only close friend I've had female wise is my mother. Like people
Hmm.
ask who's your best friend? It's just my mom. Like I don't have any close female friends. I want that maybe one
Yeah,
day, but I need to fix my lack of trust.
yeah. And you know what? And I appreciate your boldness, Jada, to share your what you need and your courage to say, you know what, this is how who I am, and this is the area where I kind of lack in, but I'm still seeking and searching and wanting, and I applaud your bravery and your courage to say that, and I think vulnerability and knowing your truth are those pieces of the bridge that build relationships, that build bridges, and say, you know what, I'm really struggling with this, and I think what I want to throw out there based on what you've shared and Jaseel is like, why are we so scared to be hurt? How else are we going to learn to know what a friendship is, a healthy friendship? We're talking about female friendships tonight. Next month, stay tuned. We'll be talking about male romantic relationships next month. But for now, we're talking about female relationships. Why are we so scared to be hurt? Why are we so scared? Live dangerously, take risks, learn to love. The most deepest, profound relationships I ever had is because I dared to love. I risked getting hurt. What do you all think? Viewers, type in. I would love to hear from you. Panelists, what do you think?
I feel like it's more than being afraid to be hurt. I feel like it's more so of not wanting to go back to the feeling, the pain that I feel like when I experience betrayal. When it just, it's not a good feeling. So I run away. Like at the first sign, the first red flag, I'm out. Like, because I feel like you're coming to get me. Like you're trying to get me back into that dark spot, that place of pain, and then I'm gonna be in my shell, all sad and whatnot, crying and stuff that you made me sad. So like, I just want to get away from that cycle completely. So I just shut down. I know it's bad. I'm trying to get out of doing that and take more risks, love people so I can receive love. But I don't want that pain again.
And thank you, Jada, for sharing that. And our viewers, one of our viewers said I was very much like Jada, and still not there yet, but way better, as you guys know. And so I appreciate that viewer chatting that and being vulnerable and sharing that, because it is a lot to get hurt. Nobody, I think it's human, right? Nobody wants to show up to get hurt, right? Hurt and pain pushes away, it pushes away. That doesn't make you want to gravitate towards it. So I think it's very human, to not want to be hurt again. But I also know that if you stay there in that place, you may miss out. You may miss out, and you may not know what it's like, to have the strength of a female friendship, girlfriends in your life, praying for you, getting our nails done, sharing hair secrets, tips, makeup tips, whatever it is that your thing. If makeup's not your thing, that's cool. Whatever it is, playing basketball, whatever it is, I don't want to stereotype women to
Right.
think always we're all, nails and makeup and hair, because we got some women that are very adventurous. They will never put on lipstick and do all that, but they'll go and do mountain climbing. They'll go and jump out of a plane. They'll go and do all kinds of things. And so I certainly don't want to put women in a box. But Jacilia, you got that face again, like you got something on your mind, and I don't want to hold you back.
Oh no, I wasn't gonna say anything. All I was saying was, "Dag, I like to do all of that."
Yeah.
I like all of that. I like makeup and hiking and climbing and all of that stuff. I was like, go
That's
ahead.
right.
I was like, go ahead, Miss Natalie. I was like, I like that.
That's right. That's right. And I think it's so important we don't put ourselves in a box. We don't put ourselves in a box. And I can say this, sharing from my own experience and speaking from my own truth. I mean, this happened many, many years ago. It was in childhood, but how many of us know when things happen in childhood, you still hold on to it, it still affects you. But I was like 12 or 13 years old, and I had a BFF. I thought really we were literally gonna be best friends forever. This girl, I was just like, anything, we're road dogs. You jump, I jump, all together, all in. And then just over time, I started getting like this friction started to rise up with me and these other women. Well, at this time, these were girls, they weren't women. And I was trying to, people were confronting me. I mean, really, like talking about women being aggressive. These girls was coming up to me like they wanted to fight me. Really. And was like, well, you said this and that. I didn't even know who these people were. I was like, who are these people coming up? And then over time, time revealed that this girlfriend of mine that I thought was BFF that I can trust forever with everything, she was telling these girls things that I didn't even say. I didn't even know who these girls were, but stuff was coming out. And so that whole time, the person who I thought was closest to me, I would have did anything to support her as a friend, even in my 12 or 13-year-old mind, she was the one that was the viper, the snake in the grass. And so, and when I reflect back on that, I realized that going through that experience at 12 or 13 years old shut me down to female friendships, feeling comfortable, letting girls get too close for many years after that. And that's something that happened when I was 12 or 13 years old. And it was pretty, I don't think I could really fully acknowledge how traumatic that was for me. And Jada, when you say, "Oh, my mom was my best friend," and this, I could relate to that because I didn't allow any other female friendships to get closer to me because I didn't trust anymore. I was hurt. And so I didn't allow myself to get to know other girls and build those friendships. And I had friends outside of that former BFF at that time, but I didn't allow myself to nurture those friendships. And the only thing I went in and I just went with what I thought was safe. But I was over time, I could see that it was I had to acknowledge that I was really hurt. That betrayal hurt me bad. Not only because I was about to fight somebody. I know y'all can't imagine that, but it was like, hold that, you were rolling up on me on the lot, so it was let me get away from that. But during that time, it was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I was going through this. And so even through that pain, I think stayed with me, even going through college. And when I got to a certain point in college, I started to tear down those walls and start building again and let go and grow and mature past that pain. But that pain in women maybe had similar experiences. Maybe the actors were different, maybe the scenario was different, but it even carried out in their adult years, and it wasn't just childhood. So I said a lot. What do you all think?
That was deep. That was deep. And it's crazy that you can go back that far and like remember the source of the pain. Because now I'm in my head trying to figure out, okay, where did it start for me? Where did this lack of trust come from? Why did I separate myself from women or female friendships? Like, where did it start? So that's my homework assignment. Thank you for that story.
You're right, and I challenge you to do it. 'Cause you know what? I asked myself the same exact question. Where did it come from? And that's where I could trace it back to 12, 13 years old. The best friend that I had from fifth grade betrayed me. And that hurt me something awful. And so that's where I can go back. But I want to encourage you. I'm here as a living witness. You can heal and move forward. You can let the guard down and build. Because I've had some wonderful women that have come into my life and through college years, through now, and through young adulthood, and now I'm approaching middle age, y'all. Woo! Oh my gosh, almost. I don't even know if I want to say I'm middle age yet, but I'm approaching almost there. But the women that I'm just like, wow, I really would have missed out had I kept those walls up, had I kept being scared. I really would have missed out. Any thoughts?
Um, I've only had one instance where a friendship just ended. Um, just ended. It didn't. I wish it didn't end the way that it did, but I know that there are lessons, and I think that I learned majority of my lessons about friendship with that particular friendship. Till this day, there's no beef or anything. I really think that if we had just took the time to really communicate and understand what was going on with each other, things could have been okay. But I think about that one often. That one is just like, that one hit me hard because it was when I was in school. I had developed this friendship with this person, and it's like, but I understand that God puts some people in your lives for a reason. He puts people in your lives for lessons. It's either a lesson or a blessing, even though lessons can still be blessings, if that makes sense, you know.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But I
Well,
understand now that God puts certain people in your lives for reasons. Like um I thank you for saying that you think that I have like I'm really good with friendship. It's honestly, I really try to treat others as I like how I would like to be treated, and
mhm,
I strive to be as good as I can and to impart some good positive feedback as best as I can, no matter how long or how short my season is, because I realize people seasons, you don't know how long people are gonna stay in your life. Was I was gonna say something like my high school friends. God put them in my life for those 4 years for a reason. If I didn't have these people, I would have probably not been okay. And then it just taught me about seasons. Friendship, this whole friendship thing taught me about seasons. And just because even if you might not have found the right group of people, or you might not have clicked well with other types of people, there's still hope. There is still God can still bring these people. God can still surround you with some good people, no matter the situation. I mean, no matter what's going on, you know what I mean? Even if you just need somebody who's going to like understand. Again, speak your language. But yeah,
yeah,
sometimes, that hurt that you went through when you was 13 and 11, you know,
mhm,
those lessons that you learned, you can bring them back now still, and now you're imparting that knowledge unto like to us and everybody. So
mhm,
I think that that's really cool. And yeah, that was only a season, a really short season, but
mhm,
it's amazing to see what God is doing and the people that are going to come around you now, knowing all that you know now. I can only imagine the beautiful, intelligent, entrepreneurial type of women that you get around you now. That must be
mhm.
really exciting.
It is, and you ladies are dynamic and wonderful. I can't sing your praises enough. I want to share this with you all and our viewers. I pray it goes well. If not, put it in the comments. I will follow up and get my technological game together. But I hope I have your grace. But we're going to try this. There's a video that I find a very short clip. It's less than a minute, and I really want us to think about it and be challenged. So let me see if I can bring this up successfully. We'll see. Let's see what we can do.
in the name of Jesus, it's gonna work.
Hallelujah.
Because we're afraid. We're afraid to be vulnerable, be soft. We're afraid to be hurt. Most of all, we are afraid of our power. So we become controlling and aggressive. And no one taught us how not to be. Why can't women get along? Because we've been taught that it's better to be bad than to be powerful. Think about that. And in the meantime, stay in peace, not crisis.
Wow.
Facts. Facts.
What do you all think about that? Um, if I throw that out there, she says, why can't women get along? This is Ayana Vasant speaking. Because we are afraid of our power. We've been taught it is better to be bad than be powerful. Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
All right. I thought that was powerful and a powerful way to kind of leave this discussion thinking about that, challenging ourselves that we are powerful beyond measure, not because of our beauty, not because of our abilities, our intelligence, body shape, whatever it is that you think, it's because who we are in Christ. And really tap into that. We are powerful beyond anything that you can imagine. Power, a strength not to destroy, not to be misused and to destroy, but to build, to transform. And I think behind women not getting along, behind broken relationships, is the enemy of our souls who wants to destroy us because we're better together, we're stronger together. When women get together, there's a mighty thing God can do with us. Allow yourself, viewers, you're watching, you're listening, panelists, allow yourself, dare yourself to love hard, to love fiercely, without fear, because you can be a warrior, you can be a nurturer, you can be a lion, and you can be a lamb. And all of that is embodied in a woman. And so I want to thank you all for being vulnerable, for being courageous. I want to thank our viewers for being patient as we went through our technical difficulties and delays in the earlier in the broadcast. But I truly appreciate all of you. You are wonderful. I don't know what I'll do without you. So next week, boy, next week is we're in the 1st of February next week. Oh my goodness. So February is upon us. Love, relationships, dating, marriage is all on the topic. It's on the block, the chopping block for us to digest all of next month. So beginning next week. So stay tuned, like, share, subscribe. The platform coming to you live every Monday at 7:30. Thank you all. Have a good evening. Be blessed to be a blessing.